every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Hello there, good morning and welcome to this beautiful Friday morning. My name is Henry Uzo, and of course this is Morning Dew on Dott Television. We are here to take you around events and news around the globe. So just sit by, because even Success Benjamin is in the studio.
Indeed, it's a fruitful Friday morning. Welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television, where we bring you top stories and headlines making waves around the globe. I am Success Benjamin, and Ify is in the studio.
Definitely, this is a great and fun Friday. We are so excited. Today is the day that broadcasters around Delta State and neighboring states as well will be at the Government House, Asaba, for the long-anticipated second edition of the Delta State Broadcast Media Conference. I am so excited, and we look forward to a great time talking about how to advance broadcasting in this great state, the big heart of the great nation, Nigeria. I am Ify Aronu. It's a fun Friday. Let's get started.
All right, you are talking about the Broadcast Media Conference. I think we gave it the best shot we can.
Oh yes,
in
three
terms
times.
of adverts. We took them on this platform, and of course their advert has been running on Dott TV.
Non-stop.
I think we have done our bit.
Yeah.
And the next is to attend.
Yes.
And hope that at the end of the day, it's a story that everybody's going to tell for good.
That's right. Dott TV is partnering with the Delta State Ministry of Information and the Delta State Broadcast Media Organization to make this happen, because broadcasting is very important.
Of course.
We are called the fourth estate of the realm because we bring something to the table, holding government accountable.
You set the agenda.
Yes. So,
but yesterday, let me go to my own. Yesterday, our girls failed to qualify for World Cup.
oh my.
Yes,
really?
South Africa beat them 2-1, and they didn't show up. They didn't turn up at all.
Oh.
But it's fine, because if they gave us any hope, and maybe at the Confederation level, they missed out, it's more painful. So let's just be calm. Just like the Super Eagles went away, they too have gone their own way. Well, that's
how.
how.
Year for Nigeria in the sporting.
And yes, it tells our story anyway. It tells our story, because if you check, the problem has not been footballers, but these girls, for me, they didn't turn up. They didn't turn up. From their first game, they didn't South Africa.
Yeah, they weren't present.
South Africa was coordinating, dictating the pace of the game all through, even when they now scored. And some of the teams that beat our goalkeeper, I don't understand it. Never used to. So, well, that's what we have. And of course, Nigerians, let's take solace in the fact that he who fights and loses. No, we didn't run away.
He who
fights and loses lives to fight another day. I hope that in that generation, some of these people will have phased out and younger ones would have come in. Well, viewer, just sit by. When we come back, we shall be with you on News Update, and if he has the stories. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
You're still watching Morning Dew on Dott Television. Here are the news updates at this time. The Deputy Governor of Delta State, Monday Onyeme, has described education as the biggest industry in the state. He made this known during the 30th edition of the UBEC Suburbs meeting in Asaba. He added that education remained the foundation for economic growth, social stability, innovation, and national development, stressing that a strong basic education system equipped children with the literacy, numeracy, values, and critical thinking skills that underpinned lifelong learning. According to him, Delta State has continued to make significant investments in the education sector to provide quality education for its citizens, including renovating classrooms and also building additional classrooms, as well as building schools with solar panels in order to improve and create a safe learning environment for children. While
Delta
the
State
Delta
has
State Traffic
consistently paid its UBEC counterpart fund to access the federal government intervention funds. Like I said yesterday, I recently approved the release of the 2026 counterpart fund after fulfilling our 2025 obligations. This reaffirms our belief that no investment is too great when it comes to the future of our children. Today, more than 302,000 pupils are enrolled in public basic schools across the state, with over 187,000 learners, representing 62% of the total enrollment.
The Delta State Traffic Management Authority, DESMA, has urged organizers of political, religious, social, and cultural rallies or processions to notify the authority ahead of time whenever their activities will involve the use of public roads. The Director General of DESMA, Dr. Benjamin Okemute, made a call in Asaba while addressing the public on the need for proper traffic management during rallies and processions. While on national news, the federal government plans to establish 41 innovation hubs across Nigerian universities to turn research into businesses, jobs, and economic opportunities. Education Minister Tunji Alausa said 8 unipods have been inaugurated, with 3 already operational at Unilag, Nasarawa State University, and Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike. The initiative, supported by the UNDP, aims to make universities engines of innovation and help drive Nigeria towards a $1 trillion economy. And on Youth Day celebration, despite the global economic downturn, governments across Africa are prioritizing youth empowerment initiatives. This was the submission of youth development advocates from Benin Republic, Cameroon, Ghana, and Nigeria.
on the 2026 International Youth Day edition of Dott TV's Pan-African program, Your Voice Africa.
In my own country here, I can say, as the others said, we are also facing some challenges. I can say almost the same challenges that we have, but what the government is doing in our youth is like a kind of taking action to help young men and young women to build themselves.
There have been lots of interventions here in Ghana and across Africa through so many capacity building programs. And even though we are facing the realities, African youth have not backed down. They have still been engaging themselves in the many and numerous opportunities being given to them through, as I said earlier, the capacity building. And so many youths, as we know, have been given several opportunities at decision-making tables. And it's a great achievement and a heap for me that African youth have not been forgotten.
I would say for Lagos, I think the government is really trying. And I do see a lot of empowerment from other non-profit organizations as well. I'm so happy to see that. So no young person in Lagos or in Nigeria as a whole has any excuse.
And I want to say that when it comes to youth in Cameroon, our government is doing a lot to empower youth in different domains. We have entrepreneurship, we have leadership, to ensure that youth get a stimuli, youth get empowerment, youth gets knowledge.
Highlighting the theme of this year's International Youth Day, a different context, common aspirations, the youth expressed optimism about a greater and more purposeful future.
In fact, in Cameroon, the population or the youth make up 36% of the country's population. If we are the most active in our populations in our different countries, then we ought to understand that we have a lot to do. So youth should get on board. Youth should do what fathers cannot do.
My message to the youth is that the youth, you must be proactive. You must take advantage of the numerous opportunities being given to us today. So youth, let's get it done.
Being young is not a limitation. Instead, we should see it as a stepping stone. Put in all your energy, everything you've got in you, put it into whatever you have, that dream you have.
Sustainable Development Goal still has a few years to go. It's still 2030. And so we have quite a number of things we can still achieve. Not all countries have been able to hit the target for each of the 17 goals. But I believe that as individuals, you can also focus on any of the goals that you're passionate about and solve it within the context of where you are.
Now to security matters. The Nigerian Army has begun moves to operationalize 4 newly created divisions as part of efforts to expand its capacity and tackle insecurity across the country. The expansion approved by President Bola Tinubu will increase the Army's divisions from 8 to 12, with new headquarters planned for Benue, Kwara, Taraba, and Edo states, alongside the recruitment of 28,000 additional personnel. In Kwara State, a new Army battalion of nearly 500 personnel has been deployed to Omarong in Irepodo local government area, with another battalion planned for Patigi. And finally, on Oshunpo, INEC has added the Social Democratic Party candidate Dr. Olubenga Ajala to the ballot for Saturday's Osun State governorship election following a federal high court judgment. The commission has reproduced the ballot papers and result sheets to include Ajala and his running mate Faseke Oladipo, bringing the number of participating political parties to 15. INEC says sensitive election materials will be distributed to the 30 local government areas in the state at the Central Bank of Nigeria premises in Osogbo. The commission has assured political parties, candidates and voters of its commitment to conducting a free, fair and credible election. Ajala says the SDP remains optimistic about victory, despite having only 48 hours to campaign after being added to the ballot. Well, that's it on News Update. Morning Dew returns shortly with newspaper headlines. Stay with us.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Welcome back, and now over to what the papers are saying. We start with Business Day. And on Business Day, we have CBN reopens OMO to retail investors for the first time in 7 years as election spending threatens inflation. Also, we have Osun's voter turnout has fallen in 3 straight years. Violence threatens a fourth. Inflation seen easing further to 15.54% in July. Nikon's final insurer list leaves 6 firms out. And then finally, Peter Okoye's clothing line lands 60 million naira as P Square feud reignites. All that in Business Day.
Now let's take a look at the Daily Trust's front page this morning. Nearly half of Nigerian households suffering job losses. Makinde pick ex-DSS DG Lawan Dara as running mate. Refineries will work again, Tinubu speaking. And now the topical story here. APC campaign DG's nephew killed. Another shoot. How 7 miners died in Plateau pit collapse. Flood destroys houses in Nasarawa, Niger. Police recover baby stolen from Benue Hospital, arrest suspects. Man allegedly kills friend over tire cover. And that's all for the Daily Trust.
And of course, we see photos of flooding in Nasarawa State. That shows that that prediction is coming to pass across states of the country. And now let's move to The Guardian, where we find a photo of the top contenders in the Osun State governorship election scheduled for tomorrow, the 15th of August, 2026. And we have the big story on pages 4 and 5. Osun 2026. Will 1.9 electorate win? That is the big question. Below the masthead, refineries will work again, make profits, Tinubu pledges unfilled $2.9 billion rehabilitation. ICPC recovers 24 billion naira from ghost workers, over 900 accounts forfeited. On 2027 election, Makinde picks SSS ex-DG Dara as running mate, advocates party alliance. That's in Oyo State, of course. Military launches offensive against Lakorawa, others in Northwest. SEC orders freeze of assets linked to 9 terrorist financiers. NHRC, ActionAid raised concerns over hate speech disputes ahead of 2027 polls. Presidential group extends deadline for contributions to National Policing Bill. And report, unemployment, limited opportunities, pushing 73,000 of Nigerian youths abroad. That's something to bother about. Let's move on.
Over to The Nation. Mbazobiamiela, more time needed for policing bill inputs. India PM invites Tinubu to break summits. Recapitalization. NICOM clears having more insurance firms. Under opens electricity generation distribution for investors. Now we have the topical story here. Osun governorship election will be transparent. Ballot papers result sheets arrive. Tinubu urges AMBO to prioritize infrastructure development if elected. And that's all we could take for The Nations.
Of course, next we move back to the Punch. And we have Makinde picks ex-DSS DG Dara as running mate, rallies opposition. 2027, Abiodun Daniel trade fresh blows over political allegiance. On governorship poll at Osun, we have police lock down Osun, DIG 30 CPs deployed. And then, of course, we have state police bill. Presidency extends public submission to August 21st. Edo records 70 child defilement cases. Fathers, top offenders. Well, that is that's all we can take from the Punch.
Now let's take a look at the Daily Sun. We have Governor Makinde, APM, presidential candidate, picks former DSS DG Lawan Dara as running mate. And we have here customs link cannabis to acute psychosis, severe cardiovascular distress. And down here we have FG gives airlines 1 week to submit repayment plans. Tragedy as pit collapse killed 7 miners in Plateau. NAFDAC sets new safety rules for blood products. And here we have Osun election, Accord APC, ADC orders in final push. Another topical story here, ex-CDS NHRC amnesty demand action against Father Hansi Jige. Their unguarded statements should not be tolerated. Senators remark must not go unpunished. Amnesty, we must guard against igniting Rwanda-style violence in Nigeria. That's NHRC speaking. And that's all we could take for the Daily Sun.
And now let us move to the Vanguard. And we have this very striking one above the banner head, striking in a wrong way, in a negative way though. Feeding crisis rocks prisons. That's on page 21, and we can see a photo of inmates there. The major story for today, factors that will decide Adeleke Oyebamiji Salam others' fate. Expectedly, Osun election is leading as Osun decides tomorrow across national dailies. 2027, our task bigger than winning. That's coming from Makinde. Drug war, Ogun Customs hands over 16.7 billion naira cannabis to NDLEA. 2027 polls again. Heed our warnings on hate speech. NHRC tells federal government Nigeria's refineries will soon bounce back. Coming from President Tinubu, says we will soon publish how subsidy saving is being utilized. State Police Presidential Working Group extends deadline for memoranda. Xenophobia is back in the news. No request received yet from South Africa on repatriation costs. And that's coming from the federal government. Recapitalization, NIA backs NICAM as 7 more insurance firms clear hurdle. Topical stories on Vanguard.
Now bringing us to the Empire newspaper. Support for Tinubu is total, Walpole declares. Then the writers below says, renewed hope delivering tangible gains. Drum support for Hamzat as next governor of Lagos. Massive attendance by Lagos state workers slam NLC over boycott directive, cites freedom of association. And that's all for the Empire newspaper.
Well, we end this session with our own dear Pointer newspaper. Delta's First Lady gives succor to over 700 children with special needs. And then, of course, we have DTSG, Delta State Government redeems 20 million naira pledge to World Spelling Bee champion. NAFDAC tightens oversight on blood products. That's all we have for paper review this morning. That's the headlines this morning. When we come back, we shall look at the headlines, analyze them for all of our benefits. Just keep watching. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
The Delta Broadcast Media Organization, in conjunction with the Delta State Ministry of Information, presents the Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0. Theme: the broadcast media as a democratic catalyst, shaping public trust and electoral credibility in 2027. Keynote speaker, Sheun Okimbaloye. Anchor, Politics Today on Channels Television. Guest speakers, Ayo Mairo Essay. Anchor, Arise News. Agatha Amata, CEO, Trend FM. Samuel Fejoku, veteran broadcaster and senior special assistant to the governor on protocol. Guest of honor, Honorable Charles Ehiedu Aneagu, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information. And Right Honorable Imomotimi Dennis Guo. Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff F.O. Oborewori, the Executive Governor of Delta State. Convener, media personality, Ruki Onoro. Date, August 14, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba. There'll be high-level networking, media interaction, capacity building, awards, and lots more. Register to attend on www.deltabroadcastmediaconference.org. For inquiries, call 0706-701-8400, 0803-874-9265. Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0, powered by Delta State Government. Sponsors, Dominion Pearl Homes and One Niger app. Supported by NTA, DBS, Quest FM and TV, Warri Sentinel, Trend FM, Mega FM, Baramatu Voice, Boko FM, Crown FM, Sleek FM, Eku FM, Big Hot Radio, Cruise FM, Atlantic TV, Rise FM, and Dott TV.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Yes, welcome back. And of course, we are going to look at the review of the headlines that were read out to you from the papers. And gladly also, we still have our guru in the house, Dr. Ambrose. Okay, good to see you this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
You're always looking prosperous. I like your headgear. How did you come by the idea?
Well, when I was those days when I was a young man in Lagos, I used to wear a lot of suits.
Okay.
So, like 7 years ago, I said, "Man, I'm getting older. This Oyibo suit thing should
it's not working.
Let me represent the African culture.
And you're repping the culture.
It's a good flip.
Well,
so that was the decision I made, and I kept all my suits apart.
It's a good
So
flip.
it's not like a trademark.
Yeah, it is.
I think I like that.
We have the culturally compliance.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's get down to business. What is the focus is the Osun State election, governorship election. And of course, a lot is happening. Now, the violence ahead of it is becoming outrageous because we hear that the ADC campaign DG, is it the son? The DG himself was shot dead yesterday. And then, of course, the PDP candidate had to back down for the governor Adeleke. And then, of course, everywhere is locked down. What do we say about the election tomorrow?
I think activities leading to the election of Osun State, especially when it comes to the issue of the volatile statements and insightful statements made by politicians, is shameful. It's worrying, and it is dangerous. We have been crying about that the West is again trying to take us to the Wild West of the early 60s.
Wild West.
And it is dangerous. They were the ones that caused this region, the politics of this region, caused the coup, caused the war, and cost Nigeria a lot of consequential things in terms of negative. We lost a lot of lives during the war. We lost our prominent political leaders during the coup, and we lost more people even during the counter coup. The same Wild West. So why is it that always this kind of politics goes on in the West? Somebody made an incendiary statement inciting violence, inciting people to murder people. That senator has not been arrested. He's still walking around because he's a member of the ruling party. Such statements were captured on tape. They said the police invited them for what? He was supposed to be picked up immediately. By the DSS or the police because he said, go kill people. And he's still standing. I was thinking by now he'll be arrested, but no. I'm sure he's still going around the field campaigning and trying to work people and maybe trying to tell people to kill more people. Now his threat has worked. Somebody has been murdered. Today, if that's the election, as the eve to the election, who knows how many people will be murdered? Because if that senator can come out in public to issue that directive that people should be killed, what is he telling his people behind closed doors? In the 21st century, these are the kind of politics we want to play. And we are saying that we have Democrats and that we're democratic dispensation. And the party calls itself the progressives. Progressing to what? To violence. So I think the ruling party has enough states already. So does it mean that what people are saying about the president that wants a one-party state? Is it true? But the president also has come to deny that it's a Democrat that doesn't want a one-party state. But actions in Oshu is showing that he's tending to a one-party state. So we should call everybody to order. But the problem in Nigeria is that electoral violence are never taken seriously. People are not arrested. People are not being prosecuted. People are not being jailed for electoral offenses. And that is why it continues.
Even when they are arrested after the election, they are released.
They are released at the order from above or something like that. So please, the election in Oshu State should not take lives. If you kill the citizens, who are you coming to rule? And you are putting fear in the minds of people so that you can have a time to manipulate or whatever. Please, let's have this election in a peaceful atmosphere. You know, I have a friend who is a journalist who is there already. I told him, please watch out. So that you don't get caught in the crossfire. Because with this kind of statements and all those things, I would not be surprised if there are gunshots and all kinds of violence.
Exactly.
This evening and tomorrow.
Yeah, so I want to add to that, like, we understand they have window as, you know, their campaign rally and so on. But also seeing a video online yesterday where the Edo State governor arrived at Osun State, and you know, you will hear gunshots, and also his followers saying, "We are here to remove Adeleke. We are here to." What do you have to say to that? Is that a good statement, you know, from a ruling party?
Well, every political party, those are political statements. Of course, every opposition wants to remove the ruling party. So those are election talks, you know. Because every political party said they are going into the election to win.
Nobody.
But the problem is...
the man that just included in the ballot
yes, the problem is not we are going to win. The problem is how are you going to win? Are you going to win through the normal process? Are you going to win through the credentials of success stories or scorecard? Are you going to win through persuasion, through the electoral victory, and not through violence? So if you insist that you want to win through violence, then you are not in democracy. Perhaps you should go and wear a uniform and do coup so that we know that you are a coupist. But trying to now force people with the barrel of the gun and all kinds of violence with machetes and all kinds of things, and then you say that is how you win. That is where the problem lies.
Okay, now talking about some of the headlines that we read out this morning, there was this screaming headline: can 1.9 million electorates win? That is the big question. I would like to hear your thoughts on how the people of Osun State can take ownership of this election. Also, we have 30 CPs presently in Osun. Is that too much?
That's an overkill. So if there's a security emergency in their states, where do they go? So how do you now manage a general election that is coming up next year if you can deploy? So that's to say that the whole place is militarized. The whole place is full of tension. The detachment of security agencies there, maybe more than this. People are coming out to vote. So are you deploying? What are you deploying the military or security agencies there for? That is one thing. Are you deploying them there to ensure that the ruling party wins, or are you employing them to make sure there's safety and security during the election? Those are the two things. If they are there to make sure that there are no violence or to prevent those who are trying to invoke violence, that is a good thing. But the fear and the worry is that they may be there also to perpetrate some of these acts that are inimical to our democratic tenets. So these are the worries we have. And then I saw the governors yesterday, a lot of them. It's normal to support your candidate, but when you have almost all the states emptied, then you now saw that they now suggest that there's a desperation by some people to win this election. So please, this is an election. It is not war, but they're treating it as if it is one civil war that is going on. And the people of Osun should not be afraid. They should come out and do their right, because whether you come out or not, our democracy, the way we count our democracy, is a number of people that came out to vote. That will be determine the result. And then they will now say, maybe if it is presidential, they will say, okay, 2/3 of that, if you are in 2/3 of the states. So if no matter how low the number is, that will be used to judge. So if the good people don't come out to vote, then anybody who voted will be the person that will determine who wins. And what we are now saying is that let the people have peaceful atmosphere to vote. Let the votes count. Let there be no manipulation, and let the result be declared.
All right, we wait to see. Thanks so much on the Osun election. We just keep our fingers closely crossed, and then we'll be watching out to see how it pans out. I'm sure by tomorrow, this time on Sunday, the dust will be settling, whatever has happened. All right, let's move to an area of interest again. Our president has come out to say that our refineries will soon bounce back, and we'll see what the removal of subsidy, the savings from removal of subsidy is. Now, we have heard of bouncing back. We have seen it bounce back and bounce back again. So,
is this
can our refineries work?
Is this the renewed hope we've been waiting for?
I think the president should stop insulting us. We may be citizens, but we are not stupid. If the president really wants the refinery to work, I just let him just not say anything, and let us just wait until the day he goes back. Let's just all see him go and cut the ribbon for the opening of the refinery. But telling us that these Port Harcourt refineries and the Warri refinery and Kaduna refinery will work is like a broken song. It's not something we want to hear. Make it work. Dangote is thinking of expanding his refinery. He's going to build one in Tanzania. They are doing a lot of things. One man, a whole federal government of the Republic of Nigeria cannot even maintain his own refineries that was built. And some people are saying, oh, the refinery is old, this and that. I mean, there are older refineries in Europe that are up to 100 years old. That are
still functioning very well.
There are still plants that are almost 200 years old in Europe. They are working. So it's about maintenance. It's about removing the obsolete spare parts and replacing them with modern ones, and they can function.
After all, that's what they call turnaround.
And the turnaround has been on since almost 40 years. Yes. And nothing has been turned around. So it's rather been turning back, not turn around. So there have been a lot of issues. And then for the president to come in 2026, after all the turnaround maintenance, after all the money we have wasted, after all the stealing and looting from turnaround maintenances in the past, there was even one jamboree that was done during Buhari time, and the NNPC organized all the press, and everybody all went to Kaduna, and then they put on the lights in the refinery. We thought it was working. Under 1 week or so, they say it has packed up. I mean, it's only in this kind of country this kind of things can happen. Who is responsible for that mischief? Nothing has happened. Nobody has been picked up. Nobody has been arrested. So for the president to now come on, no, Nigerians are not interested in those kind of talk. Let it work, and let us and so let's all stop paying international price for local consumption of refined products. We are not supposed to be doing that. Yet he removed the subsidy. This kind of statement is what I expected him to say on May 29, 2023. So that he fixes the refinery first, and then we'll refine locally, so that we don't need to pay international price, then he doesn't need to pay subsidy if we are refining here. But he has removed subsidy and all those kind of things. And then 3 years down the line, you are still telling us that you want to fix the refinery. Okay. Some of this, I don't know how they look at their counterparts in the face when they go for international meetings like United Nations, World Trade Organization, G20, all those things. I think these people will just be laughing at us and said, they will not respect us as a serious country.
Dr. Ambrose, talking about how to move forward, because apparently for the president to be saying this at last, it is likely that the issue is on his table. Beyond talking, beyond rhetoric, talk is cheap. Is it possible that government is thinking of doing this as government? Because usually we are told that things like this, when the private sector comes in, perhaps it will be more sustainable. We've seen what Dangote has been able to do on his part. So what should the federal government, how should this rebouncing of our refineries be articulated for sustainable development of that sector?
I think the government does not need advice. They have all the technical expertise. They have all the advice. They know what to do. They're not doing it. I mean, it's not the technology for running an efficient refinery is there. I mean, OPEC nations, we are members of OPEC nations. All our OPEC nations are running their refineries very well, even exporting refined products. Saudi Aramco is still, I mean, the federal government, the Republic of Saudi Arabia is still running their Aramco. Saudi Aramco, which is like their own NNPC. And they are running it well. They are using instrumentation and precision engineering to take it from exploitation, run it through intelligent pipelines, come to the filling station until it is dispensed to the car. They track it. They track every liter from crude to refine to logistics movement, to movement, and then to dispensation to the end user. It's the technology is there. It's just for Nigeria to deploy it. I happen to know one of the past general managers in the security of NNPC. And he told me the story of how he brought some foreigners I think some Israelis, who were able to, know what to do to save us from some of these things. And I just looked at the man and said, this man, because he came from the private sector, I looked at him and, dismissed the whole thing. So we know what to do. We have the technology. We can buy the technology, but we don't just want to do it. So all this talk about making that is why Obasanjo got frustrated just before he left office. He sold it to some Koreans. And Yar'Adua came because of populism and all those things. He reversed the sale. By now, the refineries would have been working.
At least we are having the products.
The refineries would have been working by now. But that sentiment of populism, he reversed the sale. And today we are still stuck.
Now, in retrospect, there was a time where the president doubled as petroleum minister. We thought that those things were going to, get government to have an eye on what is really going on. Did it change matter in retrospect?
You said there was a time.
It was the previous
There was a time we didn't have petroleum minister.
Who is the petroleum minister now?
No, there was a time, in the time of Buhari.
Yes,
there
was
was
the
petroleum
previous
minister.
Who is the petroleum minister now? The president is still the petroleum minister.
Now,
I said there was a time. It's not more working. No,
the
president is the manner of speech.
The president is still the
So
minister.
now with all that,
we only have a minister for states.
Now with all that in place, what are we getting? We thought that would make government to have an eye and know exactly what's the problem, because most of the time what they say is civil servants there. The bureaucrats are the ones spoiling everything.
They shouldn't shift any blame. The only thing is the political will. If the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is also the head, who is in charge of all the ministries, departments, and agencies in Nigeria, decides to say that this refinery will work, it will work. The president cannot shift the blame to anybody. He's the petroleum minister. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's the president of the Federal Republic. So all this moving, passing buck, the buck stopped at the president's table. So if he has said it, but many presidents in the past have said it didn't work. So that is why Nigerians are skeptical about this statement that, well, it's just normal talk. It's not going to work.
All right. Viewer, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation, but in other areas. Just stay with us. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Somebody. Yes, welcome back. And of course, we are moving to the area of ghost workers. The ICPC has recovered 24 billion naira, which were supposed to be salaries of workers who don't exist. Ghost workers, does it mean they were dead or they don't exist? Issue of ghost, because they call them ghost workers.
Yeah.
A ghost is a spirit.
The concept of ghost worker is that you have people who are paying on a payroll,
or who are in the payroll,
who are the payroll of MDAs or any other company, and they are not workers. So you just put fictitious names, there, and you pay them salaries. As the salary that's being paid goes to some account, who later now, one or two persons who pays that money goes back to collect the money for their own use. So it goes up, moves from account, then turns around and comes back. So that is ghost worker. It has been a phenomenon in our destiny, especially when we're doing a lot of manual payment system.
Yes.
And all those things. But I think during Obasanjo's time, Dr. Kunjo-Wala time, and those are some of the reforms she did, trying to, even the the single treasury TSA was an introduction by Dr. Kunjo-Wala then, but they were not able to implement it fully then. So, but those are some of the things that were done. And so technology, the effort of government trying to weed out these people. Before they will ask you to travel from wherever you are to come and do thumb printing and the rest. Verification, travel, those are local, those are dated. These things can be done normal. And so now I think these things are paying off. You can track money that's not going out. So kudos to the EFCC. EFCC also should look out to the ICPC. ICPC. They should look up into other areas like how come that somebody has a fictitious agency and was budgeted for and has an account with CBN? I don't know what they are doing about that one. And let them also look into into issues of states owing salaries. Yet there are salary budget heads. What is happening to that? There's also look into some MDAs that are paying salaries too, that people have not resumed. I heard that some people were even taking a job, they were giving salary, but told them not to come to work. There's no space for them to. So these are the things, and are being paid. So these are the things. All that they stay. We also hear that they tell them to take SS and tell them stay home and don't come. When you start coming, finally we pay you backlog. So these are the issues we are having in this country. So we should be able, the ICPC should look into all these kind of allegations and accusations flying left, right, and center. And thank God we are not hearing, at least for now, we have not heard about snake swallowing money or monkey running away with cartons of money. But generally there's a problem with our system that allows people to have access to a lot of money. It's a problem. How can a director in the ministry have access to 48 billion naira, 38 billion naira to move such money around? So that is the thing that gives this penchant for ability to,
even though there are laws and rules that restrict such.
Even some governors don't have up to some they are signing capacity limits. Does not even get to. But we hear director, we hear permanent secretaries, we hear deputy directors moving large kind of money.
Sum of money.
So we will be able to see how we can curb it, to do preventive measures to make people not even have access to those kind of funds.
All right, let's come to this one. Okay, maybe we tell off with Delta State. There's this report that is very disturbing, that children are being defied by their fathers in Edo State. 70 cases reported, and fathers are guilty of defiling their daughters.
Mostly fathers.
What will lead to such perversion?
I don't know what is the problem. Incest is on the rise. And I think also it has always been there.
Okay.
Yes,
maybe
I think
not,
the problem is
reported.
about communicating it or reporting it.
Yes.
And because of the cases of the issues of social media now, because of more awareness, because now the children are now Gen Z children that speak out.
Okay.
When it was happening in our own generation, a lot of the children can't speak out.
Okay. That's true.
And so some mothers are becoming more interested in it because they tried to cover it up before. These cases are covered up, in the past, and so many other. Even till now, a lot of mothers are covering it.
Their husbands.
A lot of husbands are deranged. They are mental. A lot of these fathers have mental problems.
Yeah.
Then there's another cultural dimension to it. Some of them some have said that these people use it for rituals.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of ritual you do to rape your own daughter. Some have gone ahead to even, impregnate their children and have children. So these things are criminal cases. And some of the children are minors too, so this is even double criminal offense. So incest is not allowed in Nigeria, especially the incest. So some cultures permit first cousins to get married.
Okay.
Uncle and niece can get married in some cultures. It's permitted.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in many cultures, it is a taboo for that to happen. So also we could look at the cultural difference, but there's no culture that permits a sexual relationship between a father and a son, or a daughter, or a mother and a son. In fact, there was a case recently, I think in Mozambique was one country where a mother and the son said they wanted to get married. The court rejected it, and they said they're in love, And there was a video we saw recently last year that a father started crying out loud that the daughter wants to sleep with him. And that the daughter, it was on social media, and the man raised an alarm in the community, and even the guy came to interview him. And they interviewed the daughter, and the daughter said, I'm in love with my father. Is there any problem with that? She was 23 years old, I think. And the man said he noticed all the sexual advances against her. Until one day she wanted to, she screamed. So these are the things. I think the girl child should not mistake the love shared with for the father as an intimate sexual kind of relationship. So it's supposed to be a kind of, there's what you call filial love, fraternal love that you share for each other. And then the agape love. It's not eros. The eros kind of love is what you are bringing that have erotic connotation. The people should be, I think they should be deterrent. Because if these things sometimes also, these things go to court and family members go to want out of court settlement, or we want it's a family matter, the police, they will beg the police to pay money. I think this is not allowed to be swept under the carpet.
All right.
Efforts to be made to make sure that their convictions gotten.
So much on that. Okay, we take this one before the last. Feeding crisis rocks prison. Correctional center. It's like shortage of food for our prisoners. What does that portend for us?
Nigerians don't have food to eat, those who are outside prison. So just know what will happen to the prisoners. Those of us who are not even in the prison, go outside and see the hunger, the level of hunger, poverty. The World Bank has consistently said that Nigeria has retained the poverty capital of the world for some time now. So people who are outside prison, who can move around and eke out a living for themselves, are in hunger situation. Then talk to people who are in prison, who are dependent on the handout from government. It has always been like that. First of all, some prison officials have been accused of not even spending the money that's budgeted, that was even released for the prisoners in the first instance. So there's no doubt there will be very much, if there's hunger outside the prison, there will be more hunger inside the prison. And then for the little budget has not been funded adequately for a long time. And then these people are in the prison. So how is our own budget being funded? So if the crisis is a matter of budget not fully funded, then they are suffering what we are suffering outside prison too. The people should tell them that our budgets are not being funded. All of us are
standing on the mandate.
So there's a problem. We are running 3 budget cycles at a time, 2024, 25, 26. Budgets are not being funded. So it might be what is causing a crisis. Then also ICPC, also this is the place to look into to see if the officials are mismanaging the funds or looting the funds. But I really pity the prisoners because they don't have even any other alternative to fight. They just are there and dependent on it. So like some prison in some European countries where people actually go there to, in fact, one man committed a crime to go into prison because he said they didn't have rent to pay. And so the prison will give him free rent and
free accommodation of food.
Dr. Ambrose, talking about this, is it possible, because we know we have arable land, some of our prisons, they have land around. So is it possible to put the environment to use? Because the prisoners, sometimes I wonder, how can we tap into their talent?
Use them to do
No, but they can produce.
They do sometimes in the prison.
Use them to go and
Isn't it possible to achieve food sustainability around those places?
And we have not attained full sustainability outside the place. So how do you want to achieve full sustainability inside the place? You have to start from where you are
she's
free.
talking about using the prisoners
I
to
know
go
you
and
said-
farm.
I'm not
Now they've not eaten.
all the
How do you
mechanized
use them
farming,
to farm?
all the tractors, all the this. We are not full sufficient. We have not been able to even do it outside.
Okay.
But again, there's something that the Chinese do. A lot of their prisoners are trained, especially in skilled work, vocational work.
Yes.
And then they bring them, all the Chinese constructions going on around the world, try to bring them to work there.
Okay.
So you see them, all this manual labor they are providing and the rest in most of their construction sites. That's why construction is cheap. So what you are supposed to pay an expert maybe $10 a day, these people can go collect, you're just giving them pocket money.
Yeah.
Because they're serving prison term.
Okay.
They are prisoners.
Yes.
And they are using them to work all over the world.
Okay.
So the Chinese have been able to convert that because the Nigerian prison service changed to Nigerian correctional service. There's nothing have been corrected.
No correction.
Only the name was corrected. The attitude has not been corrected.
And the environment.
But again, but at least let's give also kudos to the prison authority because we have had since people graduates, people go to school.
Yeah, skill acquisition too.
Skill acquisition. Some of them have even acquired PhD from the prison walls.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, a lot of
Yes,
things.
they
So we
do.
must also give kudos to them because I also think that they are beleaguered by lack of fund, just like most of the parastatals.
Agencies.
And they're just trying to do their best. And they are partnered with a lot of people who do corporate
NGOs,
social
yeah.
responsibilities.
All right, finally, let's attempt to give flowers to our state governor and the wife. And the part of the wife, she has, given succor to about over 700 children. And then recently, a Deltan from Asaba here, young girl, Kediachi, went over to China for spelling bee and came out tops. And the governor promised him 20 million. Now that has been redeemed. What does that say of Governor Okudo?
Well, I must thank the governor because a lot of times we have been angered by the fact that governors, we receive winners of some show that people are going on air to become naked and have sex. And that was entertainment shows that add no value to the society.
Yes.
And that's what governors are interested in receiving. I was so ashamed one time that one university in Nigeria and a bank for that matter had this big check for the best overall graduating student, and what was there was 10,000 or 50,000 naira.
Wonderful.
And another one of 100,000. So is that how you reward intellectualism
Excellence.
in Nigeria?
Excellence.
So for a governor to come, I would thank the governor of Delta State for being able to come and give this kind of money
Yes.
to the family, so that people will say, "Oh, this is fantastic. This is what to do." And I also want to beg the governor, in addition to that 20 million, he should allow the young boy to be one day governor. When I was in Lagos those days, during the time of Bola Tinubu as governor, his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, used to do, there's this spelling bee they used to do. If you win it, you will become one day governor. So the young man, yes, you go around, you be the governor, they will drive you in a chauffeur. I think the governor should yes, I think that, and he will sit in the governor's seat
I think
and sign documents.
I think the money is more important.
No, like the two of them can go because the experience matters too.
Yeah, sure.
And if you do that one day governor thing for them, the person will then
We'll also encourage other children.
I think the first lady, I think also, I hope it's her NGO that
Yes,
is
you care.
and let it continue.
Foundation.
Let it continue. The first ladies over the years have been. I remember somebody like Mrs. Egbinedion,
Yes.
when the husband was Lucky Egbinedion was governor. They had this New Era Foundation that did a lot of things in repatriating these issues of just traffic for prostitution and bringing them back. So you matter also. It's a good name that everybody, the young ones matter. I think it's something that's continuous. And then there should be what I try to also do that the first lady should look at a way so that she doesn't end like other first ladies when they leave office, the thing dies. They should be able to do a kind of sustainability where even when she leaves office, it can still be her pet project.
Exactly.
And they can still have a sustainable model for making it, work till whatever. I mean,
I think
it takes around 100 years.
There's something that the
kudos,
governor's wife was doing. That
if all the governor's wives can continue doing things, one or things to impact the society, then it's going to be fantastic. But they should not stop at just that 8 years their husbands are in the office. They should continue that kind of thing so that the impact can be sustainable and lasting.
All right, thank you. I think that should do it for a paper review for today. Thank you so much. We have enjoyed it this 1 week. I don't know whether we're going to call you down from Enugu to be here with us.
He's one of us. Dr. Ambrose, you're
He's one of us. He's
Yeah.
one of us in the studio now.
Your presence is more enjoyable.
Thank you.
We'll
for
discuss
coming.
with
I'm sure you don't want
management.
to leave. I'm sure you don't want to leave Delta.
Thank you for coming.
No, I'm a Delta boy. I keep on saying that.
Okay, you're back home.
He's an Oshari.
All right, viewer, that does it for paper review this morning. When we come back, we'll go out to other programs. Stay with us. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
The Delta Broadcast Media Organization, in conjunction with the Delta State Ministry of Information, presents the Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0. Theme: The Broadcast Media as a Democratic Catalyst, Shaping Public Trust and Electoral Credibility in 2027. Keynote speaker, Sheung Okimbaloye. Anchor, Politics Today on Channels Television. Guest speakers, Ayo Mairo Essay. Anchor, Arise News. Agatha Amata, CEO, Trend FM. Samuel Fejoku, veteran broadcaster and senior special assistant to the governor on protocol. Guest of honor, Honorable Charles Ehiedu Aneagu, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information. And Right Honorable Imomotimi Dennis Guo. Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff F.O. Oborewori, the Executive Governor of Delta State. Convener, media personality, Ruki Onoro. Date, August 14, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba. There'll be high-level networking, media interaction, capacity building, awards, and lots more. Register to attend on www.deltabroadcastmediaconference.org. For inquiries, call 0706 701 8400, 0803 874 9265. Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0, powered by Delta State Government. Sponsors, Dominion Pearl Homes and One Niger app. Supported by NTA, DBS, Quest FM and TV, Warri Sentinel, Trend FM, Mega FM, Baramatu Voice, Oko FM, Crown FM, Sleek FM, Eku FM, Big Heart Radio, Cruise FM, Atlantic TV, Rise FM, and Dott TV.
Yes, welcome back and thank you for being there. We are moving over to business. And of course, Louisa City is already in the studio with her business crate. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine, sir. Good
And how is
morning.
business?
Louisa is looking business this
I hope
morning.
you have I hope you have a business.
Oh, yes, I do.
Talking business, you should
Yeah,
have
it's her
business.
talking business
you
is
talk-
her business.
you talk from- okay.
Yeah.
And she has physical business
I would
as
have
well.
expected her.
Yes.
I would have expected her to talk from the experience
Oh,
of
interesting.
business.
Of being a
Of
practitioner.
having
She
being a
has
practitioner.
physical business and not just one.
Don't mind us. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't know I've been sitting close to a business mogul all this while.
Not just one.
Good to see you, Louisa.
Oh, good to see
so
you
what do you
also.
have for us today? It's Friday.
It's Friday, yes, and I have a lot. But first of all, let's start with something we all feel, which is high prices. Nigerians are raising fresh concerns about value-added tax as the cost of living keeps climbing. Now, here's how VAT works. It's a consumption tax collected along the supply chain. Businesses remit it, but at the end of the day, it's you, the shopper, who pays for it. Traders in Lagos say every restore costs more than the last, and they have no choice but to pass that on. One provision seller put it simply, she doesn't even know how much tax she pays anymore. Everything is just expensive. Analysts say VAT hits low-income households the hardest. That's because families with less to spend put most of their money into essentials, food, transport, the basics. Yes, some essential goods are exempt or zero rated, but many households say they are not feeling that relief. So shoppers are adapting, buying smaller quantities, switching to cheaper brands, cutting back, and retailers are feeling it too. Raise prices too much and customers simply stop coming. Now, what's the takeaway this morning? Experts are calling for wider exemptions on essentials and stronger support for small businesses. Because the balance between government revenue and your household budget is the debate to watch. Now to the bigger economic picture and a very honest conversation happening at the top. 3 years into Nigeria's reform program, the question has changed. It's no longer are the reforms working, it's when will Nigerians feel it? That was the theme at the Africa Emerging Markets Forum in Abuja this week. However, the numbers do show progress. The economy grew close to 4% in the first quarter. External reserves are above $50 billion, and inflation has eased slightly to just under 16%. But here's the thing. Food is still expensive, borrowing is still costly, and wages are still stretched thin. Central Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso says stability is the foundation, not the finish line. And Finance Minister Taiwo Oyedele put it in a way we can all relate to. He said a reform that shows up in national statistics but not on the household dining table hasn't finished its job. The government says a detailed breakdown of where the subsidy savings went is coming in a matter of days. So let's watch this space because for millions of Nigerians, that's the real test. Jobs, incomes, and prices you can actually plan around. And finally, this morning, a story about onions. But trust me, this one is bigger than the kitchen. Nigeria's onion industry, worth an estimated 945 billion naira, is under pressure. Exports to Ghana have been suspended indefinitely. So what's the problem? A dispute at a major market flooding. Trucks have been stuck there for days. And because onions are perishable, exporters are watching their goods and their money rot at the border. Producers say this breaks the rules of free trade across West Africa. They are calling on ECOWAS to step in and mediate. Now, here's why it matters beyond onions. Trade experts say this is really a test of whether Africans' free trade agreements work in practice and not just on paper. If a local market dispute can freeze a whole trade corridor, that shakes confidence for every cross-border business. For now, there will be higher onion prices in Ghana and lost income for Nigerian farmers, and a big question hanging over regional trade.
They should bring them home.
It's a case of onion. Go back home.
Go back home. They should bring back the onion. They should bring them home so we can have enough of them in the market and also the price reduced.
Yes,
have you bought onion recently in the market?
It's very expensive.
Very expensive. You won't even get up to 10 pieces of it, maybe a big chunk like this, a big size like this. 10 is worth 3,000 naira.
Yes.
It's madness. Bring them back
Bring
home.
them back rather
let's
than
let's
letting
consume
them rot,
them,
right?
so they don't go
Yes.
bad
You say,
and
let them rot, I mean,
Bring them
we'll
back
eat
rather
it
than
all.
letting them
Yes.
rot over there.
Okay.
instead
Okay.
of
Yes.
allowing them to run over there and you're also at loss.
At
Bring
loss.
them back home.
Yes, you
Let's
lose your
consume
money, you lose
them
everything
here.
that you have planned for. It's just, to me, it's rubbish.
Is
That's
it possible
xenopho-
to
xenophobia
process
on onions.
onions? That's another thing. Is it possible to process it, or must it be in this its
Platform.
natural?
That could
yes.
be possible.
Has
That
anyone
could be.
tried?
I
Are
don't
you
think
aware of
anyone
something?
has tried it
They
yet.
can also dry
But
them. They
can-
have the dried
yes,
onion.
they can
They
dry
dice,
it.
they
You
slice
know,
it
yes,
and dry
just
it.
package it and market it. It's better than just letting you as a marketer or as a farmer watching your products
Yeah.
just waste away.
In fact, it's
at
the
the
traders
border.
this time because
And you run
they
at
buy
a
from
huge
they buy
loss.
from the farms and they
Yes.
export. So they are the
So
middle
you
chain.
lose all your profits and you didn't even gain anything.
Yeah, I'm thinking that for export purposes, because for something like this now, they're going to lose.
Yes.
Because onion is very perishable.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Very
High end.
perishable.
But if it was processed somewhat, at least the shelf life
Would
will
last
sustain
longer,
it.
yes,
That way,
yes.
even if you're bringing it back before it gets to the local market, it won't come back as damaged. So that's also a low-hanging fruit that our food experts
Yeah,
and
can
those
look into.
can look
Yes.
into how
But
we can
I think the
process.
issue now is if they have to process them, do they have the required equipment to process them right there? Because you have to process the onion while it is still in the
Yes.
real form, the
In its
original
real
form.
form,
You
yes.
understand? So if you don't have the right equipment to do your processing right there, please bring them back home.
Bring them back
Yes,
home.
that's what we're saying. Going forward, that can be
Yes.
planned. You also talked about the issue that statistical findings, there's a difference between what we see at home and statistical. How do we begin to bridge this gap, especially when it comes to food security in Nigeria? What are the things that actors like should be doing? The government, the Naira now, So what do you expect the CBN to do? You showed us the Minister of Finance and also showed us the CBN governor. The two of them are eggheads.
Yes.
If they
One
can
is
think
saying,
through,
the CBN governor is saying, yes, everything is going all right. But the finance minister is saying, you are saying, yes, it's going all right on paper. We are not feeling it in the household.
Let's it reflect on the price
Yes,
of
let it
goods,
reflect the price of goods.
purchasing capacity and all that.
Yes.
I think they should sit down together because these are the people, for them to be in those positions, these are people who understand. So if someone is coming from the paper angle and the other
And the
person is coming
theory.
from the
realistic angle.
so let us sit down and find a
And
middle
marry
ground.
these things so that they can reflect in
That
the
they
life
can
of
actually
Nigerians.
reflect, yes,
Exactly.
in the life of
All
Nigerians.
right, like the president said, he said very soon we'll hear about what they are packaging
Yes,
for us
yes,
with
that
the
was
The
what
the
he
final-
subsidy money.
Yes.
All right, Luisa, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
of
for
course,
having
we look forward to having you the flip side of the week.
me. Yes.
We wish you a very happy weekend ahead
Same
of.
to you all also.
All right, you are just stay tuned. We'll come back for a conversation.
The Delta Broadcast Media Organization, in conjunction with the Delta State Ministry of Information, presents the Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0. Theme: The Broadcast Media as a Democratic Catalyst, Shaping Public Trust and Electoral Credibility in 2027. Keynote speaker, Sheon Okimbaloye. Anchor, Politics Today on Channels Television. Guest speakers, Ayo Mairo Essay. Anchor, Arise News. Agatha Amata, CEO, Trend FM. Samuel Fejoku, veteran broadcaster and senior special assistant to the governor on protocol. Guest of honor, Honorable Charles Ehiedu Aneagu, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information. And Right Honorable Imomotimi Dennis Guo. Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff F.O. Oborewori, the Executive Governor of Delta State. Convener, media personality, Ruki Onoro. Date, August 14, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba. There'll be high-level networking, media interaction, capacity building, awards, and lots more. Register to attend on www.deltabroadcastmediaconference.org. For inquiries, call 0706 701 8400, 0803 874 9265. Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0, powered by Delta State Government. Sponsors, Dominion Pearl Homes and One Niger app. Supported by NTA, DBS, Quest FM and TV, Warri Sentinel, Trend FM, Mega FM, Baramatu Voice, Oko FM, Crown FM, Sleek FM, Eku FM, Big Hot Radio, Cruise FM, Atlantic TV, Rise FM, and Dott TV.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Yes, viewer, welcome back. And of course, we are trying to establish link with our, guests via Zoom. When we do that, we'll come back to you. But Ify,
Yeah.
Some of the stories we brought today, talking about refinery bouncing back. Of course, Boke was here, and we're looking at it. Now, the government coming to tell us that refinery is bouncing back, like he said. Is it not just appropriate? Whatever you're doing, you do. And then when you are through, we see the result of what you're doing. I'm talking about, because if you talk about it and it happens like other promises in the past, what does it look like for us as a government? And as
The
a people?
idea is, this the periods that we have all been waiting for, the months leading up to the election. So I also think that the federal government should take it easy on Nigerians. The electorate know that in times like this, the government says a lot to woo people and to promise them that a lot more is going to come. Because if this wasn't the plan initially, by now we should have seen action.
Yeah.
Yes, and that would have been more convincing for Nigerians.
Action will speak better.
Yes, because when you've set your hand to the plow, that you've started the work, it is easier for Nigerians to believe that you're going to continue if given their mandate the next time. So now that you're still talking, it says a lot about where we are as a country and the kind of leadership that we have in place. So we should go beyond talk. Subsequently, it's also a testament of what's going on around the states. Now, we see that Oyo State Governor is, we saw, of course, that he picked DSS DG as running mate. Yes, but what people are asking at this time, even with the realignment and all of that, who you're picking as your running mate is, what are the things on ground? What are the legacy projects you've started that you could not complete within your first term? So I feel that those are the things that the federal government should be talking about presently. Right. When you get our mandate, you can then tell us, oh, fine, now that we've gotten your mandate again, in this tenure, we're going to make sure that our refineries, that way you have enough time. 4 years is enough time for you to do that.
Yes,
success.
I believe this is not the first time we're hearing from the federal government, even if not the present government, but the federal government at all times saying they are coming to, revamp our refineries, bring them back to, a working stage. Right now, what Nigerians need right now is action being put in place. Don't come and tell us, do it. Implement it. Let's see it working. What we need right now is action. That's what the country needs right now. Not when you are, it's time to go to your election and you are not telling us this. Are you telling us this for us to, give you our votes when we're not seeing action in place? What we need now is action. The country right now needs everything to be working, to be in place. You need to tackle the issue of insecurity. You need to tackle the issue of inflation. And these are things that, yes, the common citizens need for their everyday life. So right now, the president should not be coming out at this time to tell us our refinery will soon start working or they will soon be in use.
It's futuristic.
When they bounce back, will they stay back? That's the question.
Exactly. So don't just come and tell us, let's see it working. It should be in place. Let's see it working. And when it's working, we'll know. And we know that, okay, yes, these things are working. So it's not because he's going for election.
At least
and
let's one refinery start working
just
before
one
the election.
And it should run before election. We have about 4 months now to election,
it's
right?
Possible. If one starts, at least Nigerians will know that.
So even if it works for business, even if it works for 2 months before election.
Okay, I thought you said it works only for 2 months.
No, if it works for 2 months before election, fine, because not the one they went to put on the bulbs and all that. We saw, okay, there is light in the refinery, and after 2 weeks, we heard it has been packed up. Okay,
the proof that our refineries are working will be reflected on the pump prices.
Yes, so pump prices, because we will no longer
the standard of living of Nigerians, because we do know how important Nigeria presently. Most of what we do, we depend on fuel or products of crude products. So it's important for us to take note of that moving forward.
All right, we're hearing from the control room that our guest is here with us. So yeah, just
okay. Yes. So talking about what's going on in Delta State, the other time Chinedu Great Okediachi was here, and we spoke to him. Now he has 20 million. He's 20 million naira richer.
All right.
And
yes, we want to. Our guest is already here. Now we find that these days the challenge we have, civilization, urbanization, is how to balance our work with our family life, with our personal life. We don't know when to rest. We don't know how to manage our time. And most times it brings stress to people. It brings confusion. It brings frustration. And of course, a lot of disharmony. Even in marriage, the man is working too hard. The woman is working too hard. The children are suffering because there's no care. Now, somebody has decided to package something to advise people on how to manage their business, manage their work and their time. That's why our guest is Dr. Ella Eziadile, who is the convener, Business, Balance, and Beyond. Can we welcome her, please?
Dr. Ella Eziadile. She's from, I believe she's here with us. Doc, can you hear us?
Good morning. Yes,
Good
I
morning.
can, but
Yeah, we're hearing
maybe
you,
I'm
but
having
we
a
need to see
little,
you.
I'm having a little problem. I am having a little problem trying to put my phone on landscape. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're happy to have you. Just a bit about what Henry was talking about. Work-life balance
and beyond.
Because an unbalanced life is not...
It's a scattered life.
Yes, it's scattered. So we would like to... Oh, here is Dr. Ella. Good
Yeah,
morning,
Dr. Ella, good
once
to see
again.
you.
Good morning, Dr. Ella. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Very blessed. Now, let's
I'm very
start
happy
this
to
way.
be on the show.
Yeah. Because
Good to have you.
Many people often say, you know, their work is frustrating them. They come back from the office and it's like they can't function well at home. Some go for their business. They are there all day. Where are the children? What are they doing? We don't know. Now we're excited to have somebody like you, the convener of Business, Balance, and Beyond. Tell me, how did you come by the vision of business that is B raised to power 3? How did you come by it?
We call it the B cube.
B cube,
Okay.
okay.
B what?
cube.
Yes.
B cube.
B
Okay.
cube.
So
B cube.
B cube. All right. Now, how
Yes.
did you come by the vision? Is it out of personal experience, what you experienced, or out of what you studied in school? Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Just like you were saying, work-life balance. And in my experience, we've realized that work-life balance doesn't really exist. It's a myth. What we have is work-life integration. Because if we say balance, it simply means everything, all things being equal, which we know they never are. Now, in my own personal experience, I am a mother of 4 kids. I am a public speaker. I'm a wife. I am a lecturer. I'm head of development in my school. I'm a lecturer. I'm a content creator. I'm an influencer. So you see that I wear so many hats. And as a woman, it's also obvious that a lot of women have to choose. Society makes us choose. It's either you're a good mother, you're not very big on the personal development angle, you're not very big on the business or career angle because of motherhood, or you choose career and you're not very good on the family aspect. Why choose when you can have it all? Why? It's also our experience that a lot of people are one-dimensional when you can and should be multidimensional. You see a man who is so good at his job, at his business. He does his business, he does his work, his career. Maybe he's a civil servant, maybe he's a contractor. Everything about him can be summed up in business terms. That same man will be failing in his family because he's always traveling. He does not have any sort of integration. The kids are feeling his absence. He doesn't go to his children's events. He doesn't go to open day. He doesn't take his family out. He doesn't go on vacation with his family. The same man may not also be good when it comes to taking care of his health. So the business, balance, and beyond is the 3 B's. We call it the B cube. That's B raised to power 3. Business is what makes you money. It could be your entrepreneurial pursuit, maybe your business. It could be your career. It could be your side hustle. Whatever it is that puts money in your hands. How do you develop? How do you organize yourself in such a way that you would have time to do the second B? The second B is balance. What's the balance? We're talking about your health. I don't care how driven you are. I don't care how visionary you are. If your health is in danger, you have only one problem in this life. You can have all the money in the world, but there are some health situations that money cannot help you. can be a billionaire 10 times over. Your money is useless. And it pains me because some of these health issues are lifestyle based. There are things that came to you because of the life you have lived, because of maybe your unhealthy eating habits, the stress levels, your hormonal levels, things you never paid attention to because you were so bothered with your money. Then from the second B, we get to the third and the last B, and that's the beyond part. The beyond part talks about purpose. It talks about your relationships, the things that make you happy. Do you think you are allergic to happiness? You think it's unwoke not to be happy. That business you're doing, a lot of us do not find happiness. We're doing it because we need to eat. We're doing it because we have kids that need to go to school. We're doing it because if we don't do it, we will not accomplish anything in life. So what's that thing you're doing? I am one of the few people that I am lucky and favored that the thing that is giving me money, it's the thing I am passionate about. So I am having money and passion come together. Not many people have that.
Yeah.
Some of us are bankers. Is it because you like accounts? Is it because you like banking and finance? Given the opportunity, what would you do? What's the hobby? What's that thing you do to relax? What's that thing? Then how do you invest in your relationships? Marrying the husband or marrying the wife is just the first step. Keeping the marriage and the relationship happy, healthy, functional is a totally different kettle of fish. I've been married for 17 years, and I can tell you for free, marriage is not easy. Marriage is like a plant. The more you water it, put fertilizer or manure, the better it grows and blossoms. If you allow it and just say, we don't marry, what else is there? The marriage will die. Yes. So what you get out of your relationships, the investment you get or the investment you make determines the outcomes, the profit, the returns on investment you get. And this is not just for marriage. We're talking family. How many times have you refused to go for family reunions? A family member is wedding and your excuse is, I did work, I beg, that place is too far. Let me send them 50K. For how long will you keep sending money? For how long would you keep running away from your family? Because at the end of the day, all that would matter at the end of the day are the people around you, the circles you've built.
Yes,
the people that
you're going to continue, Doc. Doc, you're going to continue. The question I asked you was, how did you come by the vision of B raised to power 3, BQ?
Yeah.
How did you come by the vision? Is it personal
That's
experience
what I
or
said.
your study?
I said it. Yes, I said it at the beginning that as a mother wearing many hats, I realized that I could do it all. So instead of allowing people to choose one when you can do all, the B cube is predicated on work-life integration. So if I can do all these things and still have a healthy family life, do very well in my career, do very well in my friendships, in my marriage, in my relationships. That's basically the news or the gospel we're trying to spread. We've done this in Port Harcourt 5 times. So as an Anambra girl, I decided, let's bring it to the East because let's not lie. The East is very good when it comes to business and money, but we are very deficient when it comes to the other part, the purpose part, the family part, the health part. We are not very good at taking care of our health. We're not very good at being proactive. We're more reactive than proactive. So that's what birthed the Business Balance and Beyond Summit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ella. Oh, you're fondly called Veronica's daughter. And that also tells a lot. Talk to us about how that you have managed to do this for free, because from what we see on your flyer, this event is totally free. How are you able to handle it? How do you fund it?
Let me not lie, it's been very, very difficult. But again, the last B talks about purpose, talks about the thing that gives you happiness. I'm very passionate about growth. I'm very passionate about development. Money doesn't mean much to me. For me, money is a means to an end. Money makes life comfortable. Money doesn't make you happy. It can add to your happiness. So the reason we're doing it for free is that times are very hard. And more often than not, the people who need the skills, the tools we're coming with may not be able to afford it if we were to price this summit for what it really is. How many people can afford to pay 20, 30, 50,000 naira to attend an event of this magnitude, of this caliber? A lot of people cannot afford that. Times are really hard. So this is our thinking. Let's make it free. And then let's reach out to companies, to brands, to individuals, to business people, for them to support us to do this event. That's basically how we're running it, from my personal funds, and the money is given to us by different brands who caught on to the vision. The idea is to get them to come into the room, because you can never really do more than you know. So come into the room, and don't forget, we're talking about the Southeast. In the Southeast, we do not get so many business and personal development events. We do not get them. So a lot of them here do not really understand what we're doing. So imagine paying for something you don't understand. So I want you to come into the room first. Let's have the conversation. Come into the room. Come and listen. Come and learn from the wealth of experience of the people before you who have done it. So maybe by next year, when I say we have the summit, and I say, oh, the summit is 5K, or even if it is still free, you know exactly why you're coming and what you stand to gain. So it's mostly difficult having sponsors come in. It's been very difficult having people donate because they don't really understand it. But by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, they will.
You said that people don't really understand it, but you've done it 5 times in Port Harcourt. How were you able to drive this, the idea? Because usually we don't see things like this. It's rare, even in the whole of Nigeria.
A novel idea.
Yeah. So I've lived in Port Harcourt since 2007. And in the last maybe 5-7 years, I've built a brand. I've built a community of people who genuinely want to grow. People who genuinely love me and what I do. So when we started the event in 2024, they bought into the vision because, again, there was a community. Again, people were following me across all social media platforms. They knew what I was talking about because I kept talking about it. So this has been more in line with my life and everything I have done up till this moment. So when Veronica Dott says, oh, we're going to do this, they know exactly what to expect. So in Port Harcourt, they were very quick to buy into the dream because we have this type of events in Port Harcourt. We have some of it, but the B-Cube exclusive or the B-Cube Summit came and knocked literally everything out of the park. So we've been able to do 5. We did the 5th one this year in April, and it was well attended. We had over 3,000. Last year we had over 5,000, and it's growing. So and then this year we got over 20-30 people coming from Anambra State. They traveled all the way to Port Harcourt. So that made me believe that the East was quite ripe for an event like this. And in as much as it is not very easy doing it here, a lot of these few event planners or event people that have done something similar, they are very discouraged. But I believe that you can never outsource your development to outsiders. You can't. You cannot wait for other people to come and develop you or develop your state. It belongs to all of us. The Southeast belongs to us. And the onus is on us to make sure they get what we've been giving to the rest of the world. So, Akulono, this is part of it for me. This is part of me giving back. So if I close my eyes today in death, I would say I did run a good race, but I'm not dying anytime soon.
Absolutely.
All right. I like that. I like that because I was wondering why you are thinking of that. You look very young. Now let's look at it from this angle. There are many people now who will just be watching you and they are curious. Yeah, I am a victim. Yeah, I think this will beneficiate me. Now, can you give us a prototype? Somebody like us, you wake up in the morning, you go to work and you close, say, 5 o'clock. You wake up very early in the morning, around 7, you are off for work and come back. Now, can you just do a prototype? How do you advise that person to balance that his job with family life, social life, etc.?
Okay, so for people like you, just like the person you just described, for me, yours is even a bit easier because there's structure. When there's structure, it's easier to apportion time. You know exactly how many hours in the day you are at work. You know how many hours you are home. You know what to do. All you have to do is, number one, it's the intentionality to be present in your children's lives. Now, my first son will be going to the university very soon, and I felt like, where did the years go? Where? I was just thinking, well, yesterday I gave birth to this boy. You will think you have a lot of time, but you don't. So as someone who has a 9 to 5, in the evenings, you say, okay, when I come back, after I have my bath, I have my rest, I will give my children, especially if you have children, I'll help them do homework. I'll help them do this. We'll play games. What happened to the Saturdays? What happened to the public holidays? Because what balance or integration looks to you may be different from what it looks to me, to someone else whose time may not be as structured. Now you have to schedule time for literally everything. You can put it, my phone has come in very handy. I schedule some things, otherwise I will never remember them. I would never get to them. For the health part, you can decide, oh, once in a year or once in 2 years, put it as a reminder, I must go for my medical checks. Most of the things we deal with comes from the fact that we did not catch it early. By the time we caught it, it was already maybe at stage 3 or stage 4. When was the last time you went for a medical checkup? When? Then, for self or personal development, you can take a course or 2 online. Pencil it into your spare time. You get annual leaves, don't you? What do you do with those? Is it 2 weeks or 1 month, 30 days? I don't know what it is. What do you do with them? And sometimes you have to also deliberately choose yourself. The reason is this: if something happens to you, best believe someone else will replace you on that seat tomorrow, just like this.
That's right.
Just like this. So in a month, decide, okay, every month I must take my wife out. It may be a Sunday, it may be a Saturday. Take her out for an hour or 2. The money you spend is immaterial. It could be an ice cream date. It may just be something, because again, these are the small things that we neglect. We're thinking until we have a lot of money to make a lot of grand gestures. That's when it will count. No. Tell yourself, my children's next open day, I must be there. Give me time. Give me the date early. I will plan it. Highest, I will take permission from my boss. An hour. An hour is enough. Just show up. Oh, the teacher tells you this is what your child has been doing. Then you now ask questions. You go back to work. It's about the intent. If anything is important to you, believe you me, you will create time for it. Yes, you will.
Okay, Dr. Ella, talking about balancing work life and family life. Sometimes we go to work and, the stress of the work out there, the mental stress, and, trying to come home. How do you advise one to balance between stress, work stress, and home, to balance the home when they go back home? That is one. And secondly, when you have families that live apart, maybe simply because of the kind of work they do, they have to travel, different directions, and they work apart. So how do you advise such a home? How do they balance it? Communication, the children, how they bond.
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, what are the biggest stressors in your life? You have to identify the sources of your stress. That's number one. Okay, no, sorry. Number one is marry well. I keep saying this. When you marry well, your home becomes a haven. You know how the moment you come home, there's that feeling of peace. I am home. Because you know that in this house, within these walls, there's someone, that's for those who are married, there's someone who would help me relieve stress, who will not add to my stress. So the partner you're ending up with is a very big indicator of how stressed you would be in your life, whether at work, because the home stress can follow you to work. The same way work stress can follow you home. Number 2, when it comes to your work, I think the Gen Zs, they have this figured out more than the millennials. They have a way of not allowing work take a hold of them, right? They have a good way of structuring their time. For me, I recently started learning how to use AI. AI helps me, break down my work times. AI helps me make a lot of things easier. So you need to get tools that will make you do the work in half the time. Then when you come home, how is your environment? A lot of times, we don't pay attention to why our homes are stressing us. Sometimes, know that your partner is stressing you, but the moment you enter the house, you're angry. Everywhere is scattered. There is no structure at home. Home structure is very, very key. If everything is waiting for you to come home and attend to it, you will never be out of stress. You will go from office stress to home stress. So have a good structure at home. Who does the chores? Who does this? Who takes the kids back from school? What do they do? When you come back, do you have a husband that will come back before you and wait for you to come home 2 hours later, make food, bathe the kids, and then do homework? You have to learn how to share the load. Parenting I'm talking parenting because a lot of this stress comes from, families, like women who have husbands, men who have wives. You have to have a good structure. The structure is important. The structure is important. Everything cannot fall on you as a mother. You are not superwoman. I believe, bet me, you are not. What's the structure? Where are your children's schools? Because sometimes our stresses are man-made. Not that life is stressing you. You decided. You decided. You live in a certain place. Your office is like 1 hour away. Then your children's school is on the other side of town. How? And you're going to do the school runs. If anything happens, they'll be calling you from the office. So you have to arrange that structure, proximity, price. And again, let's talk money. Money will help you structure your life. Some of us, we're so poor in our thinking that we believe that if we outsource some of these things, it means we're thinking like rich people. Some of us need assistants in the house. Some of us need work assistants. But you will not employ the person, not because you cannot pay, but because you believe you are too small to have an assistant. That's a big man or big woman kind of thinking. I have learned how to send my money on errand for me. Right? I have learned how to use my money in order to reduce my stress. So if there are things as a person you can outsource in order to get you more time to do the things that matter, please do it. If you need to employ the services of a driver, it must not be your car. It may be maybe like a taxi man, a boatman or something, and the person's job is to come pick the kids in the morning, drop them, pick them up in the afternoon. It frees you and gives you time to concentrate on the work, because whether you like it or not, they would clash. The time you would use to work in the office, you're fielding calls and worrying about having to sneak out of the office to go and pick the kids. Then you bring them home. Nobody is there. You have to put the structure. If not, you'll be running from pillar to post. I hope this answers your question.
Ella, thank you very much.
You're
I think at
welcome.
this point, let's go back to the event because it's tomorrow, August 15 in
Yes.
Oka. So we'll need the details.
Yeah.
From what you've said, your passion is infectious. You actually started the conference, the event already, from all you've told us. So talk to us about who is coming, who are the speakers, at what time does it start, where is it going to take place, what can people expect generally?
Okay, thank you very much. So the event is tomorrow, the 15th of August, and it will be happening in the city of Oka at the Annabelle Event Center. The Annabelle Event Center is on the Express, is on the Enugu-Onisha Express after Aroma if you're going towards Enugu. But if you're coming from Enugu, it has to be on the other side of the road. You would see the banner and we will be showing a direction video. Now for our keynote speakers, we have Engineer Chidomere Ndubisi, the boss of Pamtech. Now, Pamtech is a guy from very humble beginnings, and we all love the way he revolutionized mechanicking. Before now, when we hear someone is a mechanic, we're thinking, wow, what a dirty job. Oh, a mechanic. But this guy took something we all looked down on and made it into a conglomerate. So he is coming to talk to us about making money from the trade you already know, becoming wealthy because some people trivialize their skills a lot. Oh, you sell akamu, and you're thinking, what did akamu want do for me? Chidome will come and teach you how to help akamu help you. Secondly, we have Rachel Okonkwo, we all know as Nkolewa Nsuka. Now, this is a girl we all watched from very, very humble beginnings. We watched her on the screen as Nkolewa Nsuka, a local bush girl. And today, she is a headliner. She is one of the top Nollywood actresses. And all this she did without a drop or a hint of scandal. We don't see her enmeshed in social media drama. This girl is focused on building a brand that we all are proud of. And recently she launched her book, The Odogu Girl, and she's coming to spill. She's coming to share the insights on how to build a brand people will love, just like she did. Most of these people are coming to share their life stories. Then thirdly, we have Dr. Kelechi Okoro. Dr. Kelechi is called the Health Attainer. She does a lot of public health awareness. So she's going to come and talk to us about lifestyles, the things we need to do more of, the things we need to do less of. If you see, our 3 speakers are based on the 3 pillars of the business balance and beyond. Then we have our panelists. For panelists, we have Professor Shobeson, who is the boss of Onisha Business School. He's an honorary Igbo man. He's a youth corps member that came here in 1991. Yes, 1991, and never went back because he saw he more or less became an Igbo man. So he has been here since 1991, and he has built the Onisha Business School into the enviable brand it is today. So he will be here as our panelist. Then we have Ifani Obaji of Onisha Business Hangouts. So Ifani is one of the first people who began to do business development events in the Southeast, and Onisha Business Hangout holds every year. So he's coming to share insights on why we should take our businesses to social media. Then we will also be talking to architect Chukwudi Ezenwa, Chuki GSS, the boss of GSS Security and Sliding Towers. He's an Anambra son who built an enviable company. Sliding Towers is one of the biggest construction companies, who is doing a lot of things. They built the Solution Fund City in Anambra here. Then GSS Security is a private security firm that, does very well, and they are our partners. So he's coming tomorrow to talk to us again, stories on how they built and give us insights. We also have Kelvin Onovo coming all the way from Enugu. Kelvin is who we call the chairman of the Finished Men Association. So he's coming to talk about, yes, he's coming to talk about positive masculinity. He's a family man. We all know him on social media as someone who is very big on family, someone who is very big on supporting his wife, pushing the agenda that men and women can be partners. You don't need to be envious of your wife. You don't need to hide your wife in order to feel powerful. So Kelvin is a very big part of tomorrow's event. Then we also have Arnold Ekwoba. Arnold is an estate surveyor in Anambra State. He has one of the biggest real estate
All right,
firms.
Dr. Ella, I know you have other resource person, but time is failing us. We just want to say,
it's okay,
because we saw a clip of a show you had mounted. We saw people dancing. We saw maybe stand-up comedians. What are the components of the program? We talked about the keynote speakers. What are the components of the program? All those dancing.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll be having a lot of free resources. For example, on the health part, we have a lot of free health checks. We have vital signs, we have free eye checks, we have free breast cancer screening. We also have free HIV screening. Yes, we're taking the health part very seriously, because left to a lot of us, we will never walk into a hospital to get ourselves checked, except something happens. So the BQ is providing that opportunity. Then we also have a lot of giveaways. Apart from the keynote speeches and panel sessions, we also have entertainment, because this event is not a corporate event. It's a networking event. It's where you learn, you have fun, you meet people, you take pictures, and you make connections. It's like businessmen and their target audiences under one roof. So we have entertainers. If we have comedians, that's fine. But it's going to be a fun event. It's not a lecture. It's not something you just come and sit down and we talk. No.
For the benefit of those who could not, come in physical in persons, can they have the opportunity to join via Zoom or social media?
Yes. So we always stream it live. It will be live on YouTube. So what we do, first thing we do is tomorrow when the link is up, we send it via email. Then we also publish it on all our socials. So if you want to follow this, just check out Veronica's daughter on Instagram. Veronica's daughter 04. Yes, on Instagram.
On YouTube.
Veronica's daughter. So Veronica's daughter on YouTube. Veronica's daughter 04 on TikTok and Dr. Ella on Facebook. The links will be posted there, and we'll we'll try to stream it live on all different platforms.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ella, for coming on the program. We have been with Dr. Ella Ezadileje,
Thank you so much.
who is the convener, Business Balance and Beyond, the BQ, or B raised to power 3. Good to see you and good to hear from you some other time.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
successful program tomorrow.
Have a great
Thank
time.
you
and
so
God
much
bless
for
you.
having me.
It has started
Thank you
already,
so much
so
for
it is
having
success.
me. Thank you so much.
You are
I'm
just
grateful.
stay
I'm
by.
grateful.
When we come back, we have another conversation before we wind down today. Don't go away. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity. And unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., only on Dott TV.
From Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli, this will be 3 for
Welcome to Roots and Rhythms, showing on Dott TV every Friday.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Yes, welcome back. And of course, thank you for staying with us since the morning. We are continuing with our program with another conversation. Now, the new parlance, or do I say novel expression we hear these days is youth empowerment, women empowerment. And oftentimes it has become a political jargon where you gather youth and then, of course, distribute maybe 20,000 and then, or you gather some people, buy about 20 motorcycles and then distribute, you say you have empowered them. But then there are other people who think differently. That empowerment is not just about what you are giving the person a one-off. It's something that you let somebody learn a skill, acquire knowledge, and of course, be in position to, navigate through the difficult times of today. So that's why we're having a conversation with somebody who should know, talking about Dr. Obinna Efobi, manager, Special Project, Anambra State Signage and Advertisement Agency. Yeah, so we want to welcome him to the program. Dr. Bina, good to see you. You're welcome to Dott Television, and we are glad to have you. You're talking about youth today, and you're a youth too. Good to have you.
Good morning, Dr.
Thank you.
Albina.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
Thank you for
Doctor, how
having
is
me.
Oka today?
Fantastic. Oka is warm as usual.
Okay.
Weather is cool and calm, and we're good to go.
Okay.
All right, let's start this way. We're talking on youth empowerment and sustainable development. Thank God you are a youth. We hear of empowerment. That word empowerment has, let me say, it has been overused. Now, for you, what constitutes youth empowerment?
Thank you so much for saying that, because I'm of the view that the word empowerment has been overused. And honestly, I do not like to use that word anymore, because the idea that we have about empowerment is some politician gathering people on a football field and doling out cash to them, and giving them wheelbarrows and the crazy things that we've seen in recent times. So for me, I like to move away from what empowerment used to mean to actually saying that youths are collaborators with the government. Youths are supposed to be a part of a system that is working. Youths are innovators. Youths are entrepreneurs. And I thank God for how active the most of us have been, in the youth population of Nigeria. The youths make about 60 to 70% of the population. And I don't want to talk about the bad side of that statistics, but then the good part of it, for the most part, they are youths who are very active, people who are driven, people who are passionate in what they are doing. And we see the successes across various sectors of the economy, like the fintech, and they're basically in tech, agribusiness even. So for me, empowerment is all about collaborating with the youths, giving them an opportunity for them to showcase what it is that they have. Over the years, we say youth is the future, youths are the future, and all that. And the future is here, and we still see a lot of
They are still
fixtures from
postponing
the right? Yeah, more or less like it's been postponed. So for me, the word empowerment should be changed to collaborators,
Okay.
changed to youths who are innovators, people who are partners, like we say in answer, partners in progress. Youths are partners in progress, for the next phase of development that we want to see. The youths are, the driving force of the social change that we want to see, the reform that we want to see. The youths are the ones who are going to do that. So it's high time we change our mentality and shift our mentality entirely from what empowerment used to be into bringing the youths in to be collaborators with what is going on in the any sector at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Obinna, you are an academic, and I know, of course, that you are aware that on Wednesday, 12th of August, the world celebrated the 2026 International Youth Day, AUN observance, with the theme, Different Contexts, Common Aspirations. You're also aware that 73% of Nigerians are presently below the age of 25. That shows you that our youth are our strength and our greatest asset. And of course, there is this statistics as well by the UN that by 2050, 850 million Nigerians will be young people. So what does that say rather about, and of course, very much in Africa, 850 million Africans rather will be young people in 2050. 2050 is not far off. What does that say about how youth should be engaged? We have a vast youth population around. Are they being fully engaged presently? And is that why we're not as developed as we should be?
There's a correlation between the last point you just made and the youth population that we have. And one thing that I've noticed across, board is that there's a huge skill gap in continuing or taking over leadership from what is now. And it's a scary statistic that you just reeled out now. By 2050, the youth population it is good on one hand, but on the other hand, what bugs me about that is that are we prepared to be able to enter into that phase? Are we actually ready? Do we have the system to support that growth that we have and that we are going to have by that time? And that is why I'm very, very big on creating systems that actually work. I'm glad you mentioned the education sector. And that's one sector that I have not been happy with for a while. Since my graduation, when I was in undergraduate, and even down to postgraduate level, the things we were taught with were things from the dinosaur ages. I mean, my first degree was in applied biochemistry, and I was taught a lot of things from years ago, and there's no way that we'll be able to catch up with the development that is happening across the world. So it's indeed a scary statistic that you just reeled out, and that is why I'm of the opinion that we need to start to find a way to shift the mentality of our young people. But then in shifting the mentality, it has to fit into a system that works. And what is the system that works? Moving away from the beneficiaries mindset, moving away from the empowerment mindset, and then talking about people who will be brought in to being innovators, people who will be brought in to be collaborators, people who will be mentored. And while we're saying this, I know that a lot of focus, when youths are being discussed and development is being discussed, a lot of focus is on the government. But then I like to flip that and turn it upside down and say the focus should be on the youths. Each youth is responsible for him or herself. That is where it should start first before you start talking about the government. Because yes, we have seen opportunities being given to young people who are in government. I mean, immediately after graduation, I got my first opportunity in public service through the then governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. I'm still grateful for that. But then I entered into that opportunity. I made sure that I learned on the job. I had mentors. I grew through the system to the point where I am now. And it's sad to find that many people find themselves in such situations and then they go into the old system and even do worse than what has been done. So that is a personal and individual error, which should be corrected, first of all, by people being conscious, first of all, and being able to have core values for themselves and defining where it is they want to go to. Then we now talk about the system where they can fit themselves into. That way they are able to resist what has been in the system and being able to make a difference and find their voices and be able to express themselves in collaboration with what the government is doing. So I sincerely hope that our university system, secondary school, primary school systems will begin to revamp how we're doing things. In agriculture, we are still talking about hoe, cutlass, and tractors, whereas in the developed world, they're talking about using drones to, do a whole lot of fancy things, talking about integrating AI into a lot of things. And we don't hear these things in school. At my level as a PhD student, I never heard of all these things. We were still talking about some theory, some guy made in 1960. So how do we progress? We're in 2026. How do we progress? So we need a total revamp of our system in order to make sure that we're able to catch up with this. Otherwise, we see what is going on in Lagos, the area boys, menace and all that. Imagine what will now happen in the next few years if we continue in this trend. So there's a whole lot of things that need to be done, but I like to put the responsibility on the youths, on the individuals. They are the ones who need to take ownership. Yes, the system is how it is, but then you yourself need to define where you are going to, what you need to do. Then the system meets halfway and you are able to now thrive in the system. So I sincerely hope that we'll be able to cope with that and find a space for everyone to play in those years to come. It's not so far. Yeah.
All right. I understand the place where you say the youth, they have to, take responsibility to stand up. Then let's look at it in this way. In a situation whereby they are being, empowered by, learning a skill, a particular skill, and they are also empowered to start up that skill to, not just learning it and you just leave them. They are also empowered to start up that skill. So don't you think is also in a position for maybe the government or whoever that is bringing in that empowerment program and also a startup park to also put in place a monitor team to, see how they progress in that area? What do you have to say about that?
Thank you for that question, because I just made mention of my first opportunity in public service. It was in agriculture. I served as the special assistant to the governor on agriculture, and it was on a World Bank project, the Fadama project. And while we were on that project, the World Bank partnered with the federal government and then the Anambra State governments, as well as other states also, providing inputs to people to go to the farm, and providing agricultural equipment hiring centers and all that for people to go in. And it would interest you that these people do not care about this empowerment. It goes back to what we said at the beginning of the show, that empowerment is just seen as getting a share of your national cake. And that was a reoccurring rhetoric that I saw all through, because part of my job was to do an oversight. I went to the 21 local governments of Anambra State, covered almost every community, interacted with youth, promoted youth groups, cooperatives, to be able to benefit from these things. And then when you now go back as the oversight person to find out if indeed this money that was given to these youth, did they use it? How have they been able to profit off that investment that has been made by the World Bank through the Nigerian government? And my sister, it will shock you to know that these people put nothing in place. And I came off that experience with the view that no wonder that a politician somewhere would see how these people do not even want to progress. And instead, rather than giving it to them, the person will now be very comfortable, keeping the monies to themselves and doing all manner of things. So it is good that, yes, you support, yes, you empower, and then you should have a system. That is part of the system that I'm talking about. Also to make sure that these guys put these things to use. But then it all arrives back to the point of what I said about the individual differences, the need for mentality shift for people to take ownership of whatever it is they've been committed to. Because when the government have done what they need to do, even private citizens also do the empowerment and promotion of skills and all the things, it still lands on the table of the person, the individual, the youth, to make sure that they put that thing into use and milk every opportunity that they get from it. So yes, the system may be there, but then it still comes down to my point that it is an individual thing. And of course, when the system meets the individual, definitely, the youths are able to be transformed and become what we want them to be eventually.
All right, Dr. Binan, there's no doubt time is going to constrain us on this program. But before we let you go, we see that I know sometime in the past, there was this concern about the drop in enrollment at schools. And is pervading because now we are seeing this Olodo uprising where nobody has done anything and then is having plenty of money to display, is having a car, big car, living in a big house or building a big house. Now, the role that education, whether formal or informal, has to play in the empowerment of the youths, how much are we concerned about it, both government, parents, and the youth themselves?
Yeah, I think it's a growing concern because I see some states, particularly my own state, Anambra State, declare things like free education to make sure that people go back to school, make sure that people benefit from that. I've also seen some NGOs partner with the government or even do their own empowerment, giving school bags, paying fees and all that to the people. So yes, it's a worrying trend and all that. But then I'd like to think that it also stems from the negative influence of social media. As much as social media has helped most of our youths, content creation, generating money and all that, and then you have on the other side, the downside of it, which is the Olodo uprising and all that. And also there's something that contributed to that fact, which is the school na scam mindset, and that's why I'm big on mentality shift. So when they tell you school na scam, and then you get on the internet with the small data you're able to buy, and you see some fellow spraying money in the air, immediately when you are somebody who does not have strong values, you begin to envy that person. And then when they tell you that, okay, there's free education now, go back to school, or somebody wants to sponsor you, and they begin to see it as, why go through that process and then come out and be like the millions of other people who are unemployed? But then the core thing that a school does, just like they say, you pass through the university and the university will pass through you, is actually to give you, an analytic mind, a mind that you are able to analyze things for your own. That's the essence of all those things that we went through.
Dr. Bina, time is constraining us on the program. We sure will be having you some other time to talk more on this topic. But viewer, that does it for our program. And of course, Ife, success, thank you for being there. Of course, in the control room, we have Nkechika Chukudi. Nkechi Chukudi, Uzo Chiokere, Aaron Ojeifo, and of course, Chika Ikechukwu. Thank you for being there and making everything turn out well, even the issue of using the Zoom. Thank you for making it possible. Well, viewer, that's our program for this day. And of course, for this week, we'll be seeing you
the other side,
the flip side of the week.
Yeah, have a beautiful
wonderful weekend.
Bye. Bye for now.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.